If you will, give a round of applause. Round of applause? Is that, yeah, a round of applause for Duretti Hirpa, please. Duretti Hirpa.
That's even better, right? That's a picture of me on my first birthday. I'm so much older now. So we're going to talk about not serverless. We're going to talk about how to make your work visible. Another heartbreaking things I wish I knew earlier. Look at this very serious slide. Not gonna be that serious. I'm Duretti. Hi, hello. Hi. I'm Duretti on the internet for the most part, except for Snapchat. There's like a 14-year-old with like my same name that like has it, so like don't send me that. I'm back on Twitter, like a bad habit. I feel less bad about the election, so. During the day, I work at Slack.com, it's a place. But I write server-side code, none of this JavaScript nonsense, so it's fun. I'm here to tell you about some things I learned in the last year, and they're not positive. And it's not like it could be like, oh, the world is on fire, oh no, like, fucking global warming, but that's something we have to deal with as like a society. But it's, when I think about 2016, I think about like how much of a trash fire it was. This is everyone's face in 2016. Like everyone I know, this is their face. And the lesson I learned in 2016 is that anything can happen. And I was really proud of this slide. A lot of time on this one today. And anything could happen, like that used to fill me with like a lot of joy, and like, oh yeah, anything can happen. But 2016 was like, no, anything. So, less exciting, less happy. But yeah, in 2015 I was like, look, oh, anything can happen. Like, Obama's president, like I'm hitting a stride. And then 2016 happened, and I was like, oh no. And it really made me think about like an existential, like, what does it mean to live a good life? And not like in the Kanye, like good life, like I made a lot of money or like future comforts or anything like that. But what it means to be like good to other people. And I realized that like this sort of like, oh, all for me, none for you, doesn't really work out so well. So let's see. And this is a Toni Morrison quote, which I know you have to put a whole bunch of text on the slide. But when I think about like, oh, who's not here? Like everyone in this room is really great, but like there's always people that are missing that we really have a responsibility to. So, you know, my little good feels like we do have responsibility for one another. What should we do about that? So I'm going to tell you some of the really specific things I realized in 2016, and then you're going to tell other people, and then that's how this stuff spreads. Humans love a story. So, human civilization can be seen as one long story, so you know, you're going to do stuff, tell me the story. Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you a story. Okay. Have you noticed how some people get things done really quickly and it's amazing and they're like in this swim lane, and then you're like, oh no, I'm going really slow. No! That's me. This is me all the time and everything. And I'm always trying to figure out like what's actually going on, and I'm like, oh no, like, how do I do stuff? I don't know. And what I realized is it's not enough to work hard. It really, really is not. You can't assume that things are going to work out because you worked hard. That's right. Say it one more time for people in the back. It's not enough to work hard. It really isn't. Because no one cares about your career like you care about your career. Oh, I'm not from Eva over there. Hey, Eva, okay. Thank you. It's a real MVP. And so the idea that it's like, oh, like my hard work really did the thing. Like I'm so smart and I worked hard. It's great. That is not true. That is actually, one more time. Not true. Super fake. And so I suppose like luck is also really underrated. The reason I work at Slack is I met somebody at 16 and then I went to his wedding and then I met people and they all worked at Flickr. And now I work at Slack and it's wild. Like one interaction I had at 16. 16, are you kidding me? I was terrible at 16. So, you know, I think luck is really underrated in terms of like how far we get in life. here's a super existential quote by this woman, Simone de Beauvoir. I don't speak French. But I think a lot about luck because I'm a child of immigrants, and I know exactly how my life could have been. Like, my parents are from Ethiopia, that is like a third world country, and I live here, and now all my problems are stupid, and it's great, but like I know what the other side could have been like. So anyway, one thing is we think about like the perception of work really is work. I don't know about how many of you all go to an office. I go to an office every day, and people think I'm working, but sometimes I'm not. I could be straight goofing off. People would know that because they see me like, oh, she's at her desk, she's at her computer, she's typing that, she's probably doing stuff. But I'm actually working right at home. It's wild. So, the perception of your work is work, and you need to tell the best story you can. I'm also going to say a couple words to I already regret thinking about, which is personal brand. I listened to an Andreessen Horowitz podcast about personal brand. Like, that's how bad it's getting for me, personally. But the one thing I did drop in that podcast was that personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room, right? So, like, you want those things that they say about you to be like the most fire, like flames things. Because if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Okay? I'm letting you know, this is real stuff. People are terrible. But you do want people who are on your side, right? You want people to look out for you. So I feel like your success is people have to want you to win. Do you remember in high school when you'd write a letter of recommendation, or you wanted one, and then you just write the recommendation yourself, and then they would sign it? Like, that's what you want to, you want to set yourself up in that way. What else? Oh yeah, people love being asked for their help, like ask people for help. Also, this is like the manipulative part of talk where I tell you to exploit human biases, specifically confirmation biases, and because we love people who tell us oh yeah, you're great. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm great. Like, I like you so much because you told me I was great. This is great. So this one, bias you can use to your advantage. Another one is a negativity bias. People really remember a negative thing you might say and not a positive thing you might say. So you have to be think about the way you deliver bad news. And another bias is in-group bias, where we overestimate people who are we already know. So if you're kind of feeling oh man, I'd be doing so great at work, you're already there. That's half the battle. People like people from outside. So kind of exploit that stuff. Because high school's forever. High school is never ending. It is forever and ever. But realistically, the secret to success is just asking for help. Here's a picture of a dog, because I just said a bunch of kind of bummer stuff. Yeah, that's great. Okay, TLDR. We don't do anything in a vacuum or alone. People have to, see your effort and tell people about it, And high school isn't over. We're just at the top of the pyramid now. If there are people around, you should help them while you can. Our success is meaningless if we don't help other people and bring them up. Also, this stuff is kind of hard and boring, so keep your head up. Maybe you didn't do great this week, but you'll do great next week. Thanks.
Well, I'm sure many of you felt, a lot of that hit really close to home. Thank you very much. I have a personal policy of not, writing jokes or being silly about serious subjects. And to me, that seemed like a pretty serious subject. These are things we deal with. So the only thing I really have to say that I too was terrible at 16, and I'm honestly not much better now. In fact, probably worse. And the other thing I thought that really hit me was the whole idea of perception of work is work. And I feel that a lot even here, because I show up and I run my mouth on a microphone and people think that I work hard at this, and I don't. It's mostly everybody else. I literally barely show up and talk and then I leave, but somehow people think that this is me. So there's that.
You're so good at it though.
Yeah, thank you. I really work so hard. just constantly, like, at home, you know, you don't see, like, at home, I'm like, I got a microphone, and I'm just, like, practicing, and I'm talking to myself, and just being a smartass all the time. That's not true.